Answer na kwa kongomeso na mede to wenim say Honorable Patrick Yaw Boama ewo Efihase MP for Kankwei Central ye 2013 na o share ne mrahye bedwamu djumedi na se na watena so a ebepem sabri ntine chese wakomako ne nan eso na Honorable Eyemrenimni ono aso ye former vice chair of Parliament Finance Committee, vocal on economic oversight, governance and moral advocacy. Nti on dey say ba yensika semo se bia on hye bia enifaso yensika semo ye ni afaso oyobi oka eho asempa na ne wabeka yensa aye ne no eba bebonkomo onobo me wache emwatena se
me so me chiao etiefo show Ghana for nyina
many etiefo many ahwefo etiefo ne Ghana for nyina ajoso
Kankwei Central for nyina me chiao nyina no pe
omo joso pa wabo Kankwei Central for edin de mami bisa wo mo hote sen
meda wase nyankopon adaroma me didi so omo ho ye Adekye de me nte atinka boni bia constituency no enti meda nyankopon asese asomdwe wo ho na nieda amanfo na kuma soso mesre nyankopon se obeye adom omo ekokrom kodidwa omo edidwa wala pass fadama new fadama apenkwa abeka tesano mpeso aso nyameche da kuma lafia umunyina mesese de dobi akuma so ne bia ne bosumi fufura yesimi chiri amponye man oniano na asumdwe mra na nkoso mra obi abrabom
amen pa sem me hwa wo mpeso so a edi a oboboye enye menka se eye tribe baako ene wo ho no mo doso pa ena you know afrafra ene wo ho apart from chi kasa me no woken uti kasa fufuro bi ka ho ana
you constituency no very diverse and homogenic na chifo ho Muslims ho bebre nkranfo ho angunafo anayigbefo ho tribes ahoro no even oka Muslims kra there were different Muslims communities frafrafo ho be all Christians we are Muslim. Ye wo bisafo ho ye wo mosifo ho ye wo friend dagoma for ho amprisifo ho obia shehobi proper houses so ho and people from Niger, Mali, Numniade obia ho shehobi in Kanfo asase so nieti omo dominant omo sheho anguna settlements wo communities wo chifo aja be ejuma wan cry yes I can't so but say she's asante achi kwus obi a shehobi akoye constituency tribe bia Ghana bia obi a shehobi enti say oyo mu leader ana oyo mu MP a na so do nyame asese omaji watum esan say constituency bi how be kono na sebe one particular tribe in the majority and tisa I know o campaign enye den papa but how there you have to speak to a lot of different groups also muju tum also mpe wasem enti na o ka say me shall say 2013 enye easy my ejuma abua community in the constituency say na nka minye ni papa na say minye ni pa osumba nka ba na mato abeti am o share from 2012 elections 2016 2020 2024 even o share times I NDC win a cry, they still retain me. It's say community ni who vision ame and the progress made. Sa any the leader the twana so. And yes sebe ni na ho fair ana bibi. It's say oye campaign and now go around uhu ni a eha important bia me or 5 electoral areas 10 bia no me call round me nim near eda amanfo akoma so me kwa penko a me nim me ko blemago a me nim me ko wayema na me nim ko gbemu a me nim me ko lengele ko na me nim inti abribia no me ye me planning na strategy a me de sa ade a me call round me hu no ekom it informs every decision I make in terms of education, healthcare, youth issues near there. That has been my style.
Okay.
And meaning is a message from that.
I see. Minim say a year 2024 elections no. E do point be a me yensem tuning in make us say e mu be ye den. Oh, when I yate me kai from a National Democratic Congress side, no Baba Sadiq. If we achieve company, we declare call Thanksgiving near the Enyana, and so free mobile. Na, would see us out was sort of from so as will be at to say, hey, Honorable Patrick, boy, my lose, oh, pay. As I, there were a lot of sympathizers. Now, what can I say? I would defend the will of my people, even in court, if I must. Share elections, you know, say the Sikoye, lesson bay and actual from Sesade Okano 2012, we share with Juma say 2013, Ebaya, Ebedu 2024, no, Webaka say Eka say, Eka Ulu see, Emma Obe.
I'm a vocal bullshit, you
know,
Eko Dada so for the imams.
Oh, I'm Dada so for the imams, so it's my lesson bay. And now we share the free moon. Yabeka say I drew point to be a people were fed up with you and I say enyanesa.
You me that say Osha results now. Any Obroni Beka headwinds around the country. Now say Boama to me we need close to 2,000 votes. Now so who said me a very strong candidate. And this is from Cromwell actual. It's say and yet NDC votes. Yen crofo bebre. Osha constituency. Bebre ankoto like nationwide. Na men kase ebia me phone so ana bibi. Nobody in the constituency will ever tell you say Boama was going to win the election. Lose the election. Na Osha Okankwe South. Okankwe North. Ablekuma North, Ayawaso West, and Ebia, Ablekuma Central, Kakrebia, Kubitimaka say Ebimbe. All the seats, you know, apart from a free Ablekuma North, in contention, and we did this MPP winning. We lost all. Inti, na kwaye menkwa na mijidan finfi. Inti na this for feel say, oh, you're winning presidential election, inti chinchina you automatic as you're winning. That be, but records since 2012, I've always outperformed the presidential candidate. Tembia minya vote same presidential candidate. Number 2, Osha NDC votes or munyaya. The any significant improvement from 20. Let me even use 2020.
Okay. 2020,
they got about 18,800 plus. We almost easy declaring about 19,000 votes difference, and you're up to even 400-500 votes.
Okay.
What you say?
Okay. Compared to 2024.
Yes. Opa, check it. My uncle from printed 2020 results of NDC. Parliamentary. So I know now we are interested. Now I'm printed 2024 results. No more striking difference. Never difference. Never say NDC vote ahead on Munyaya. I can't 2020 election results. I almost feel say and commit to me winning. Never compare 2024 there. No. What I'm saying is that maybe vote and I drop it from 28,000 to almost 22,000.
Okay.
So
28 to 22.
Yeah, 21,900, almost 22,000.
Okay.
Into
2024.
Yes.
In a drop is.
Yes. Into Usha, me mom krano, I was at a disadvantage. One, a bit my government policy. A buffo about my no. enti ye de bi count senya menya MP ama perform here and I would have lost the election, but constituency for no me very reasonable and discerning.
Now, honorable when they say from 28,000 to 21, close to 22, no, one more as a friend say number na says a gap no, one man fan can opponent no.
So omu for me, and omu permasa man come back go to NDC. Eboa.
Do man go to ama.
Inti say o share vote differential na say anka NDC and also win here. The way first time when we win a presidential no, they should have won the parliamentary. Sanka omu GD say omu candidates no, or you better than me. Come to Obama no. But okwa you 5 electoral areas. I won 4 out of the 5 electoral areas.
O de to a year 2020 na. And also, na 4 out of 5, and I say na 5. Ninyana.
Na 5.
Okay.
5, if my memory serves me right. But I won New Fadama marginally. By this time, the NDC won.
Okay.
But there are a lot of
factors contributed to that.
Ethnic issues. Oh,
okay.
I don't want to go there or be now in politics. But I'm saying
words are and I say a campaign message a opponent in you see.
Yes.
Oh.
And now my brother, what I say, but I did not make catch a constituency for say. Yeah, politics na and yet me crew me madam for me me basem. No some year no near to Abamano. But there were other issues. But that they may come and I see and say, oh, they share results, no. Now while we have analysis, then you can come to a firm conclusion. Say those were the things that happened. Okay. I suffered because of government policy, government issues. But sanka minye odi papa was someone. It obi obetuma to NDC presidential, no to parliamentary. It happened. And it happened since 2012.
During that time, you know, so we share a policy more implemented we say etimi enya effect wo constituency ne so a enu ntia ma sa nipa dodo no anto ama wo no ebi ye de here and we say so kwa woni mo problem mo ka sam ne kire o
ma anto ama me aban omoto ma me say
no me tell nipa dodo no say they now expect from 20 me I'm basing on 28 you know I slide ya be see 22
okay good one obi obeka cho say policy on e-levy issues. Obu obeka say, oh, betting tax issue. Obu obeka say, general economic hardships. What you say? Inti sani emano. Me constituencies be ready for inti say economic hardship ba. That's any upper party asem upper asem no obeko ko 20 akro bia no nko. What you say? Inti those are some of the issues. General economic conditions, some tax policy issues, some perceived corruption on the part of the MPP government, were some of the factors that affected me or inhibited against people turning out in their numbers to even support and vote for us.
I see. Say any ye share say after elections one share obi se menteme ho ase na bia wa petition na yesi o yenko you know court and as be asem na ebeko court yenkodi. Do you think say the process and as proceedings you know a delay na do you support reforms say yetimi e de enema bi ebe hihye mu na say yetimi SPD up ruling na ebeboa? Do you support that?
You me to question na say now there's been a lot of reforms say be ya to abawia you betimi declare results within a certain time frame Sebeya yen deny constituency no the fair representation. Intina parliamentary results immediately you declare you have time within law, so the court are challenging the results through a petition. 2, presidential elections, so proceeding and over per the new CI by. The laws are robust enough to assist anybody who feels aggrieved, say results no and court said your pair now be I believe say results no laws now are very firm and robust to protect each and every candidate in an election. And I don't see any challenges with the law. Okay. And I encourage say lawyer for you. Processes about filing there. It can also affect the court's time.
Okay.
For example, time your lawyer is filing mandamus application compelling the EC to complete the collation of the results. The Supreme Court, in its wisdom, having at the back of its mind issues of fair representation to the constituencies involved, abridge time and give the High Court judge who was hearing the matter time within which to finish the matter, give a ruling, ensure say EC aye collation area are transmitting results to the assembly press for gazetting and for the swearing in. All those were done within the time frame specified by the Supreme Court, because issues of bias and fairness and prohibiting judging, the Supreme Court ruled against it. So the Supreme Court was clear in their mind, say, asema abeto yenimi, or say you making sure say you deny electorates and our constituencies their representatives in Parliament to enable them to be sworn in January 6th and early hours of 7th January 2025. In the end of course, in my view, the court was very fair and firm in their position, and the laws are so robust that they protected the winners of the election. Now, as some may advise I'm the man say, going forward, declaration of results. There has to be adequate protection and security.
Okay.
Which means amount for a tax near idea at the block collation centers, yetimi raho returning officers, ne presiding officers. It's not fair for the country's democratic journey. Nipa kotuaba, you declare results of polling station. Challenge bi amba obi kofa pink sheet no wako ye forgery bi wo ho oso eno na me pe results so you declare a polling station one challenge wo ho o agents asensan o see you declare results mo baby o me constituency comes yeah, the 70% of the polling stations they declare results. Why does this happen? Uniaba I say we can here say no, say patapao, say any edimbonio, ubi nimbebi a free buy. But going forward, the Mekra suggest to say to ensure say there is peace at collation centers around the country. The EC must declare first parliamentary results.
Okay.
Also collate parliamentary results first. And some of my presidential. Because parliamentary, first past the poll, you can win by 1 vote, 2 votes. And secondly, the returning officer for the presidential election, the chair of the EC. Until there is some time window within the law.
But so say, because you as an individual, would you say into swaba na beye mrashebedwe ni no. Ayana more tension dodo na ewo momo de no ho ayese bu protect na say in a way mo ignore presidential side no.
It's a presidential election, the EC has about, I think, 72 hours after the election to declare. Into that time window no, to ensure say
more ample time.
Yes. But parliamentary in there.
Wow.
You have to declare. Into those are some of the things I'm suggesting must be done.
Because now maybe say said the beya mobetimi improve on EC transparency no and ma shebedwom dia na mo ye e dia fa ho and say
so we share a new house rules now. You're creating a rule for a constant communication or obibeka any EC and independent constitutional bodies EC can obedience our so into where now chief mu and say now ni Electoral Commission you inviting no money be briefing house no on issues surrounding Ablekuma North and other related election matters. See ano member of parliament betima file a question and now BB on ebisa niema about independent constitutional bodies EC Shraj National Media Commission nomni ade se be ya niema enchre so ansan yehuani what you say inti e say term bia no as MPs no yetimi ne EC ne sa independent constitutional bodies edins awo so betima fa ne budget so the budget amantema ne preparation no betima check betima affect the outcome and fairness and transparency of the elections what you say inti those are some of the things that you be koso na ye ni o my first nanka special budget committee na ye but see ano the new house rules no allows that and also so ebeboa ama tensions ne suspicions ne ade ni nyina no about form because oba ye nyina na ete ho to say last week we ask relevant questions EC last week I think some Dr. Bosman was there
yeah
on an penny for say be ya niema ekire amanfo adwene constituent betima file a question e dey abrel no wabusa na the tensions within communities now it's as in Ghana for so o feel say o fatase ento abama ko kan wasem am etonkofo akoma so on beto abama anto makoma so ene obekọ ebebo osire onwini obekọ asori je wakọ akoye Thanksgiving enye odia it's as Nyankopon wensi ohene a oye ho hwenye
Senyame ensi ohena ye ho hwenye ya mekai se sabre no Honorable Sam George played a pivotal role in declaration no he was very instrumental omu declare yan sakrampo na mandamus action ya in court with the ebaye now wone nentem etese
Sam George oyetimi constituency how oti tesa no haya minim says say why minister na we to dia haya note many nti bone madamfo or to the bedding obeframe meko Nipa 2010 kura obe invite me meko with Bishop Ajinasare onokwa sorry na yeye madam for oye the wedding anniversary La Palm Labadi Beach Hotel obe frame meko mene come on but politics no na say mami hu say hey also hwe ye kakra
so were you shocked?
I was very surprised. I was surprised hey really? I want to Drew. But Mami can be true. Timer NDC for launch your campaign and one of the candidates. He was there.
Okay.
Until I started following his activities without his knowledge. Meanwhile, from me be answer me call. Into we see and I'm say and I'm following any so and say until we show who ye and I be at this. But many ntibone ohumia ochia me jesu kama me nyo bi a metwe manso ama na se me basbasa na so ahwe ye e wo wiase
nze se wo chia no krompo
oh debi and dey me chia no me
chia sa wo chia no ko na wotiri mu no
oh
wo ya ahwe ye
me hwe me hu ye because at one come here hu ye
honorable honorable and me so manaba besi so dia na wususu say etimi e warranty that action
maybe a party loyalty and I say bibi because emrabia ni I just say yetimi de 70% of polling station are already declare results. So share footage. Now share so unua bema na ye returning officer. Ni ade ne fasade enuma. Wan kebe yo de.
Omo de ne fade mu.
Oh, abna. Wan hwe.
Ono me pese wo rinti na ye omo de ne fade mu.
Wan hwe say ye man handle returning officer. Na collation center ni. Next time, obi nso betima akogina polling station say me nso me de nipa 20 votes I declare a polling station. Na democracy ye kwa na ye ba. We must ensure say there's dignity in our politics and our democracy. I know na Nyankopon dey amai ene na ye dey boy bra. Ti ye kasi be sua democracy sibia amanone America no mama ye na be si na. We must learn it the decent way. Na boy. This answer say I see empe soja aban bio. Say empe soja aban na pe democracy there. Then we must do it well and have the right people in place. Say be ya ombe boa ama ya democracy na banyam. Oba ehwe wo TV so, oti o radio so, ehwe o parliamentar. No wanya arehemu say there's decency in our politics. Oh, enti say ene ye nim fefefe na ochina ye koye basabasa o polling station obebusa say is it the same person our betina UTV ana joy ana say peace our kasai usu I will say reflective on ye so baby a will be no it must be reflective of what you are doing.
Okay,
and yes obey katasum
so on of me kai set time na more sign, after court processes near the no. There was a recollation,
there was a collation. Complete collation.
Complete.
What was say CI 127 regulating elections. No, there's nothing in the CI that talks about recollation.
Okay.
So say language and go for adopt because
so there has to be like a fresh.
The court order said they should go and complete the collation.
So meaning it was incomplete.
It was incomplete.
Okay. That time, me who a minority leader, Honorable Alexander Phenomarket, and other leaders are omubaye ebe support ye. Who ne say, dear Honorable Sam George ye no also so in a way or support it because almost within the within Parliament members ni nyina mo ye busua regardless of political party that you belong meba into who ne say no so air support ne party member ntina said dear won paying for so ever support no ne man yes sir
so but you o support o party member mebo ama me ni hu asem ka
okay
it's your right but uni hu kwan so be interfere with the work of obia or ye adwuma independent body to the extent so besuso no mu no atwetwe ne ade no akere no n'adwuma also man ho kwan no ye n'adwuma emra no ma ho kwan say wanye n'adwuma yi a these are the steps you have to take many anye ho no say we took the right legal steps and amebwa man fam rana and shame insem it doesn't make you an honest politician o person o ye in the country also many people okrom ha you see I know kamia say your ratings as politicians aba form nti I will see a pekwan bi so
money ye and am aba form
of course so a politician now ye niam bia again now ka kire mabunu no at your age sebe I also be bia bia no etimi hye oba owa fa say onua bi ana kwara bi o classroom ana fie hwe no timi hye ni nkran because you are a leader inti me no me ntimi famra en hye me nsem emra ne say enwie collation na compel the EC to finish their job which I did and I knew as a lawyer said I know the right steps to take and I got my results. Manko bo obi asu, manko didi obi atem,
manko
chuchu obi a, manko bubu obi a signboard.
You bubu signboard?
Yes. Now, me nye bibi na meka, me de ache.
Wow.
Me de ache.
So you're a very forgiving person.
Very. Me de ache. Amount for no, omo me kra no, omo sisi omo ti ase, but.
Woman mo ye osa no.
Me de ama nya me fa me ho. I entina Nyankopon de bi okoso share me. Me de ache.
I see. Now yen share mo party no.
Hey. Because also Okankwe Central.
Okankwe money nyina e kan oso.
We don't want to meet you.
Mami bisa say e wo mu so omoto ma ho wedi nkunim a sese abe wusi wo manan e wo mrahye bedwam. But ye Ghana nyina e oso na ma yokofo nyina. Mami mfa wo constituency no to begin with. Wapa wo mocho.
Wapa wo mocho. Ewo kwa mbeso.
Ewo nkuguo kesi a oman ni mu nyina mudi ye no.
Oh, me ne o madi nkomo. Me party for me executives ne ade. Me ne o madi nkomo. We have a way of doing it nema. Yeah, the messages are my executive elders, patrons ne ade. Me o me kwan a me ye me nema. Coming some HM party for Sunday na mo dakuma lafia koye meeting. Yo na se any CBI intertwined. Yesre ne akyeremu ne ya hwe kwan a ye befa so ye betenete ne ama. Sabe anya me party for nko constituency ni na obi aye me constituent. Obi aye me nua.
Me bisa say because waka say ye patch apology for a trust, lost trust. Me national party. Me say me niema kakanka ne kabomu a. Oh there be. Me okra. Enti say wuje to mu say ye patch wa etimi egeni trust that ye chidi for e wo ma ye dia. Ene esi charity begins at home. Enu nti na ema me ebisa wo sa.
Mami public trust and confidence. Party ana aban so ho a nipa no omo gidie ene areche mu na do kosi ho ene nhihye ya ode to omanim se sa niema no eba fom a ye to abatia ho ena me hwe se MPP we must learn to build public trust and confidence again.
Okay.
Eni se prepare ho ye niema bebre esan se NDC omo ndi 1 year. Me dey me share omo policies and omo programs omo share no ni etimi de aye overall assessment of their performance be by the end of the year. Okay. And no wetime who say look say no omo kan wo omo manifesto mu bo we no omo share ye into tax mu ye nye we ye ma mo ho nchire mu ye nye say ni say you can determine that one President Abba Pabema in the State of the Nation address. 2, end of March, Finance Minister Abba Parliament, Abba Kasa or the President Budget Abba. July, towards the end, or the media review, Abeba Parliament, whether it's a statement or a budget, whether Sobe asking for more money or not, Nina will know. Come November, or the budget for 2026, Beba. You better the outturns. And we say, Oba, last time, what I say, Oba to your contractors say, Oba program say, Oba release this say, bills say, now the Beba, Oba November budget here, these are your outturns. Report out there, Beno. Because when you know credit in your budget and your, those are the things that Ghana focus on mutie. Yes, we have the right to speak about issues. Yes, you be revoke LI 2462. You be repeal yanka say revocation. And then galamsey sem, you be excavator sem, and then fuel cost diesel 5% in July, 2% petrol, VAT on non-life insurance. Nema be brave cost. We'll talk about it as they come. Iyoko, manhandling of political party officials. Ebi them 5 days. No matter Hana no ebi cry modin. Chama to me no munsam near the human rights issues, court issues. What I say? See a assessment of the government. And yeah, we'll be able to catalog some of these issues and tell the country, say, look, say na buying a performing, or can say a Jumara program will be recruiting for 10,000. And they say, I could say, be coastal, your friends, water bodies guard near there, Galamsey, a bit to us here. Those are issues, bread and butter issues. You are too insume, you are too electricity, gas, no many idea. Those are issues that are affecting NIPA. For example, me call a year weekend. Na Oshe dualization program, Accra Winneba to Cape Coast. President Kufoni Japanese, and they started Kaswa the and a President Kufado also to us from Kaswa Kusi Winneba no major projects are a down man for Akumaso. A constitution is a government is continuing. You expect President Mahama to continue those projects. Yes, MPP Becca said, oh, Yenny Shah said, and this Becca said, oh, Yenny, I know I'm for Ghana for home, Sebi. Ghana for your taxes. Near Ohiane say, Obetina Kamu, not Nequaye, Wetimako ni Krum, Wako, Nejuma, Wako Abana, Suma Juna, and you're not Ghana for here. So, call a breacher, well, almost politics now are different. Building infrastructure, yes, is good. But they must continue with some set programs or projects. Either my money in our commerce, so whether you are MPP or you are NDC, and now you're Liberal Party or Conservative Party, there are set programs that you cannot deviate from. But
you so buy and so one wouldn't send me about the project in the one say and go through, the right process. There wasn't any due diligence. Quite, for instance, contractors EB or Honomo into your moka because no one need to make attacks on the share a Jumana say in the first place.
Yes, and Ghana for to Obama. Ghana for to Obama. So okay.
No, what say a dog Makuma so then I make so there has to be a review before and sana or more
Bosumen so many away. Time many a review
it's swasene 80 years and Bosumen so far judge
offer Akosombo kwai. Now far from Tema to Pram. Now you see a review and Tiebejai. Work must go on. But review, yes, you wait my review, I put in place corrective measures. But a man for them suffer here a offer call to in some major highway, Tema motorway. Yes, your reviewer, your review and put in place the corrective measures. But during the amount for no social welfare and well-being.
Okay.
And then Ukofa plane a Kukmasi Kra, it's over 3,000 cities. Uko Tamale. Close to 4,000. Yes. Sunyai 45 minutes ride. Nipa will be to about 3,000. Nipa saying.
Sunyai they pay almost 4,000.
Any tamale be 4-5. Inti nipa saying the bit to me. Inti na meno me de atuma kuma so say I will always speak on the completion of the dualization program because Abai last week. He approved Public Holidays Act. President Shasa. Minister of Interior, Madam Fona Muntaka, also about Buama domestic tourism across. Na nipa no de 7 hours be do Kumasi. Now also de 6 hours be to Tum Accra way, Cape Coast, traffic. And the ankasa aska no de betre fie. Na ankasa kwan no so ye better and you see ma 1.5 hours or Cape Coast Elmina no ni ade obekwa to Elubu.
Oh no, but na mo take blame ni bi say mo so man fast track enema enu nti na ababe do sabre.
Me di ho ya o. Say sa enema no ekutia we could have done better. So I mean interchange. oko Angraga Junction, so for like to Abuakwa.
No complaining, son.
We could have
completed my woman.
Diami who yen say, ye the ensaka near my baby. I was anki me complete kakrebi. Then people will see that why away. Now say ye kase agenda 111, for example. I had an issue.
Did you speak out about it?
Yes. Some of us. Well, we say, oh yeah, political party and who committee you voice
talk
up
about it.
Oh, say yes, stagger program no. Say yeah 30, 40 over a period. And by now, maybe 30, there would have been evidence to show say a good program.
Budget,
and two, I dream pa so be idea no. But the economy is not controlled by us. External factors, COVID issues, be few. Emma Shesika is spending over 20 billion Ghana cedis on COVID-related matters. Unplanned. 20 billion at the time was close to about $4.5 billion. Indeed, creating a big hole.
Now, on my support here, a bit me
COVID-related inflows a free Bank of Ghana, budgetary support. World Bank, and I'm there close to 20 billion cedis.
COVID na
yes. And I make a choice say those are unplanned issues, emergency, global nema. But I don't think say we should have waited on some of these projects.
So now no, or how naba Ghana for buofu, or matuaba edietiamo. Kugu ne de mekai pass opposition or more come say BC US in the history of politics.
For sad
BC da. What dia tomu chaupa ebetimi e the trust aba. He for na so mu lead sa chaupa no.
Yo, me da say. Enye chaupa nko o pa chau no agine ma bi so atum.
What suggest was open reconciliation.
Yes. Na yes, Ghana for say, yes, Moma Akwenya. Near money be uncle Sibiana Mope.
And also say some chrim.
I'll see a trim.
A dear way. I'll see
it to me.
Yeah, they a by Moka some pe by the buy.
A son say ABC didn't.
And I'm most of the reason they come the entire
at the time, yeah, the reason count, yeah, to Abba. Oh,
that's the reason, you know, yes,
and I will catch you say, Anye, yes, say, yes, Ghana for near my be uncle ye. Yes, she say near my ye, yes, she say a party ye, yes, she say near ma. Ye baby ma, ye beti me ade, e dey two Ghana for anim. Ghana for na see hene. What man say? Ghana for na see hene. Enti, they say no, ye were opposition, or see a question them near near my ye. Near share NDC programs no so. Sibia airco. Na ye dey atoto near my pese ye den Yankopon my Akwenya na Ghana for to abama ye bi ma ye beti me ade. Aye. Ni nyina agina Oda Ghana for benya amaye because pachewa nipa no wanyi chopa na ntuma no wan sa anchire oda onto aba ma obio
na mo thank you to no mo na chopa nam
ni nyina ka ho eno ka programs no menka say one event the process to win public confidence enye one of
so now we support it thank you to no?
Oh yes, okay. It has to. And I make also there I was say a year continuous within the communities. And yet, thank you. Community engagements. Obiwa Nejuma said because of government policy. Me to me more examples be. Kamema Obako. Mamema one example. MP or Parliament is here. Me nene to committee so. Me bought community now be home into Becca story. Also no here door to door. Occur, baby, no near tone. Yemfani say books.
Okay.
And I say chalk. And I say ebia
pen.
In so. Occur na mama no. Washe black. Obusan so oh. No, ade no so oh. Nikru enya stroke sabi eno we free no ne ne ba na nhihye bi amwa
okay
na be man no fa wan kasa aban
okay
eno di free na be man na free nti nipa saa no so wan tie ne nkomo ehu nhihye kro ay affecting na or they are shame team forever no why an enemy into them say a lot of community engagements must also go on abeme yate niema bebre ase and number 2 MPP communication sibi a boy niema ho deru we must improve upon it oh you feel say ya here adwumante also nipa ne hu there be also ultimate church mu ni awaye ni sibi e beboa no ni ade also koso now your public education into na me advocate say as a party we must engage some good communication consultants to advise us on how we communicate and also have continuous capacity building to ensure say your research findings for all constituencies after every year to advise us yen tra hon ka say election yen kwa na ye polls dey ade I bedu ono na ne ma say etini ina kan won as ideological institution mode abanana I hope so. What do you hope so? Meaning say when you are aware of it. Ideological school no for training for people to appreciate or understand our values as a political party. But me communication so kan ho ana. I know different matter. Different. Oh, okay. And also our research wing must be well structured. Say ya nyane saa bosem can be brave but oh you be we ni wa you be we it's not based on scientific evidence. Me tie wasi ya mumma mo chidifo no kwan mo vente out. Ma de wo mo no wo nka ewu obi ka say amama nka masem ho yi se wo se wo ba be pamechewa e de na wugina so a wo de ba be pamechewa waka de no okay ma me so me kwan na me nka de won so ye bia wo susu se de nka wo ba be pa ho che on mpo no there's more to it. So meaning say some mama nkrofo no so kwan no mo pachewa na sorry event out ana me no ye adwene hwe mpacho yeti Professor Michael Quick committee omo call constituencies in the party for the income but omni party for nkwa na di income as executives in Gahon. Me say party for. So okay, party, okay. But Oboha, or a member of the party and a sympathizer, but onim. Until there has to be different levels of research or engagement to find out. So means only others no say ya dream say report no. Mama nemra bonting. Na ye hu adia e wo mu na ye hu say oh okay. Said the beya so be a sympathizer. No one say okay. And there's some idea to say na some be working on there Matthias here. So you also agree say report on about bonting. Oh yeah journalist pal. No baby out there fa. Oh there be honorable. Yenka say report in my house. Excuse me. Me can say. Excuse me. Me can say. Me and I'm advocate say. Report no. Say affect MPs. I'll say it to me for MPs and they say, okay, report no you call around no. MPs mon form so ni. We need findings by we need recommendations and na more also you two at the correct niema. Say for polling station for one, they need to be told. So as a person no MPs no go bonus say for one munim. Say President Akufo-Addo, oh, yeah research. Yes oh. President Akufo-Addo e ka ho na elusi. Then how they are no. Me kai say Gabi Ochre da kon e de beto abonten say we di wo mo ye pass wo de Professor Makokwe report na sie former president Akufo-Addo say ebia say some mo piku amboso mu nim e de ma me kaba say ebia a presidential candidate now he must be met and discussed with aspects of the reporter e fa no ho say running mate say former MP so say MMDC so they must be not told And on my advocacy say we must focus our energies now, at least the first year, no, to do some of this internal work, up the image of the party, and solidify the structures within the party before we even think about electing a flag bearer. What I say? It's answer one yen is na near mashes and crofo, we are not suspicious, say we and a party opposition. Meanwhile, also soon in the community and no assem. Now suspicions then is this a here phone who reporter? Professor Michael Quay on any committee in a report.
No, some we
a national chairman. In Tibia, him, maybe one of the minimum
be.
Debbie.
Oh, wow.
Debbie. Minority caucus here. Now, to me, advice here as to what to do. Until we must know. I will see who. Now, yet to be the boy bra.
No, Mobisa. Mobisa, some of us.
Yes, it's a my yaka here.
Bisa, no, the amount, no, Bisa.
Almost your phobia.
And that's of course, I don't know what you say, you know, can say, and your party phone can say, Obi or bear party card and qua. More sympathizers also around. It's almost a person some for you, but see when you can't get a message.
Somebody anchor by now, Mutihana Musirialize. Paragraph 1, where is this? Paragraph 2, and yes, one is number 3. Can be a bimpe. Yes, say this is your report to the Messafa Pepe. Nobody had to tell you.
Me can say somewhere 2023. Kasa efa a minority and now say even some majority or more boycott it. And Sibia Becoso, Parliament. A nano, Okosoa, Ejina Sosa says, our boycotting, and Mwana, more honorable for, more persuasive for, and Yamuakasa, more into the Mujina.
You boycott a part of parliamentary strategy.
Okay.
And then in boycott all over the world. Now, so, issue, no, now they are taking decision.
Okay.
And yes, a tool at the bia, ya sorry, ya judge, no, it doesn't make you look serious. And my man for no who say when you abre juma, boycott a cajon. Say tax issue not on principle. We need to. You
so
must.
There's some injustices. You say no say so more boycott here now.
Yeah, boycott. No one we are vetting.
We are vetting. You real.
What kind of report? No. Yes, say report. No. They are competent, they are capable, they are everything.
But
now, leader, Eri did not catch you say, and this is for say, principal, say, my ceiling, no, almost, and this is for say, oh, yeah, packet, that's the word, yeah, packet, Supreme Court. Yes, hey, and then they put some answers, and then judge for us, more principle, no, and then they can't want them. We participated, we asked questions, I supported the process fully, the minority supported the process fully. And I made a copy of the report, so can you open your position on it? You need judge be any answer. They are very good justices of the court, we wish them well.
But packed, you know, so you were not happy about the Omuka now.
Maybe I don't see anything wrong with the numbers. No. Yeah, there. And it's there.
Okay.
Because, sure, Supreme Court, amount for her Supreme Court as only for political cases. A juma omo ye no. Say, jurisdictional issues. Oh, bre and committee makum kakrama. 1. So, Assembly for National House of Chiefs are more the original jurisdiction to hear it. 1. So, certain national security matters in camera. So, more appellate jurisdiction. So, be Assembly for Court of Appeal near there. So, more original jurisdiction to interpret and enforce the Constitution under Article 130. Then they have supervisory jurisdiction. You know, as a appellate court, almost share lower courts in almost same so. election petition issues. And one or two other jurisdictional functions of the court. It is our court of 13 or 14. Na panel BI 5. Our review crabit mabe mamana ko 7. Now show workload no. You must think about the health of the judges and the work. Because so-called judge office ana judge we record of appeal ya transfer amano. And to say the judge must look and read and write a reasoned opinion or ruling or judgment for the court. Because the Otrono, ne man and nana be kind. Say, inti ruling we an judgment we na me papa Troy, so ye or Troy for majority and the minority and or Troy dissenting opinion. So they must be given ample time, space, and opportunity to write very well-reasoned decisions of the court. Nti me de mini hu asembia Justice Dennis, Justice Akabuafo,
so Mabo Ejuma,
Subari,
deserve it to be there.
Justice Senior Jemef. And we know them, we've practiced before them, so we know them.
We many dear, Mammy be say, yes, say, what even process issue be our baby, ye deco. Ye share suspended Chief Justice, Nano or easy issues. No, what can we ana me so me de FM when I were educated.
Me has a meet me answer.
Oh, na okay. Some of the issues are already ye ni be say the committee no some more can essentially show mu ye nyina no. E omu say constitution ne ka say in camera ba on pen so say open no be a ehum bi. Wo ye mranim ni no. Sa na mra no e kira na.
So constitution, I don't know. Yeah, me sure.
Hey, honorable, say the
so uko two provision there on the removal of the Chief Justice. Now say the law says it has to be in camera. Then that's what the Constitution says. But that does not prevent her to also tell the country her side of the story, which will not be in breach of the hearings. But I'm trying to
in breachy because they say emra.
The president may at any time revoke a suspension under this article. Me hearing no. Article 1468. I say all proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the justice or chairman against whom this petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer or an expert to his expert of his choice. So it's provided for in the Constitution. That's why it's being held in camera.
Okay.
But
and I now know up to say is to say on pen sir. The major will take on it.
Well, that is what the Constitution says.
Okay.
But this is the first time process here take place. It is an election petition. So opese on assembly e fa no ho. Nti say opese Ghana fo nyina yetie na no do sem ana niam e koso a. Fine. It's obi beka abusade na ode ato committee ne mampanyini a. Nti say omujitu ma fine, omanje ntuma the process continues.
Okay. Petition the course na dey na wo hu bi akan ana.
Me who be. Matisse be about per diem, Matisse be about travel per diem, Matisse be assembly or more or tina subi any idea. But because it's a matter before a committee, I'm stopped.
But that minority, more ye who demonstration one could be.
We call demonstration be.
Now who name my dear now could be.
Meaning say there was a petition against her. Meaning say the president had referred the matter to the, but demonstration was for the president to look at the independence and sanctity of the judiciary, not to start a process that will create chaos within the judicial system. And for people to feel, say, oh, may my president, justice will meet me in Ejuma, we meet me in Ejuma. I know on that principle, and I'm joining here.
Okay. Yembra African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. What suggests to say we shouldn't depend solely on that? Now, me percent me
call it for the extension.
The extension of
the period, because AGOA ended 2025. I mean, sure, in 2000, the U.S. government passed maybe a JDA investment in Africa. My access, quota-free or duty-free access into the U.S. market.
Yeah.
I friend African Growth and Opportunities Act. Sub-Saharan African countries ni bebree. Na broni beka na more eligibility criteria na niema bi omosha omutimidi mao kwan ana green card a obetimidi oniema ba. Inti Sub-Saharan African countries, Ethiopia, Ghana, Mauritius, Kenya, South Africa, they all benefited. First, over Ghana, and I am a crew. Ghana Growth, African Growth and Opportunities Act, before the inception, now you trade, America, and access to American market, and you're very encouraging. We're doing less than about $50 million plus. But as of 2022, exports of apparel, non-plants, through $2.76 billion. I'm very encouraging. I also get me more. And in Tinanova, make us a African countries, we should push for an extension of the program for another 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Number two, Ethiopia, a very interesting country when it comes to AGOA. AGOA alone created, for the first time in Ethiopia, in the free zones or export processing areas, 90,000 direct jobs. Exports to America run into billions of dollars. South Africa, now first almost export to less than 1,000 vehicles into the US. Now they are over 15,000. Mauritius, Inti Abuama, access to the US market, the Akosro, and Judiciary Ebwa Forex, and they see the near $1 semi into the Kenyans, Ethiopians, Ghana, Mauritius, normally are there. Kwaya agwa na boyen. Oshe Mami Salma Salif or nonko UTC but export free zone sources or t-shirts only are there eco America. Almost set it up. Big factories, jobs are created. Into the Ministry African governments, say they should push for the extension of AGOA. Say, Minister for Trade, Minuaba Elizabeth, of Honorable MP for Techima North, pushing the other trade ministers. Now, me read you an article or say, encourage North African countries, Morocco, to be part of it, because U.S. market is a big market. Into access to the market, China, but China mainly ore, iron ore, metals, any fuels, cocoa. Into trade, a very important area. You create a lot of jobs. Into that, now may support Agenda 1D1F programs. because industrialization is everything. You know, no more bio abroche or you factory, even pharmaceutical company manufacturing, a factory, creative jobs. Into government must look at ways of helping with industrialization, and the best way was through the 1D1F program. I bet may use local materials through agro-processing and agri-based initiatives, creative employment. About
1D1F for no more successful power.
Oh yes.
We see a policy and we implement it.
To the extent, say, Santene, a factory. Kumasi produce juice. You have to go and look at it.
There's a nothing I work as a communicators no. Womo elake enema baby course. Muhune say yaye. Inti esesu obia ehu.
Communicator no obekasa o say utiminya program abema na akora na ehu
obia
ka feel. Now wait me abon the raw can or you're confident and communication is also about conviction. So I'm not convinced about a thing. Mean to me can one say Rebecca say oh went to me defend the party. But I'm not convinced. We must build the capacity of our communicators to be able to say look, Ejuma we near 1D1F 1F agenda 111 your road programs any about transport sector say uko ebia energy sector add this capacity buy na car war for energy sector ni yetimi $12 billion. Oh, tax policy. But see ebia tax policy bi buama boy adwuma for but ebia na o tax policy bi levy and now 1 or 2 tax policy handles, no, and I cover the negatives. I cover papa or no. So those are the things that we must look into it and develop and build. Okay. We have won't conform pay us him.
But is there some pay us him bill?
Oh, actually, I'm
okay. My mean is materialism and lack of discipline. People are too materialistic and money driven. That is not the MPP I know. May 2025. Hey. And my practical example of sa ye kaso bi any je ahonya de ho ne mum party no any swadi hu no de person wo ye edema Ghana fo eni mum si wo mani so no ese no mum de danchen and will be a pre dear wope. It be near area dear.
Me party asempa. Na me pese me party 10 biano yenya odo ene anuonyam mo Ghana fo anim. And I said so obenya saade no so a e wo se utimi ye niema nipa oni omotim potem no. So our friends so nkoto abama party kra obeye. Say, Ode, Sabe, Sikasem, and one mammy way are menko, and I'm a coba, menqua mania way. Only an hour any tiffy now on qua wagon, you do about to because on quanco. And I dear Nimuna, oh, delegate, my man, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000
fun.
So, Cobano, or on quite the abbation if ye.
Make us a bit so compound house or more so.
Ain't it do about na say omunkwa feel say oh okay delegates in kwana ma hwe edu campaigner abaka cho say delegates in kwa nkwa dey
enkoye pasa mo so na mo dem a
o ntina make say we should find a way to stop some of these things.
How?
See. Me
pesa because obi unipa no all pepper and na the opponent no e sika entize nti so no so timi happy in the game nti mo na we look as a na tire me say unim dey make en ho ase
oh minim
nti how are you going to do it? Wo be dey na my
we must all agree to stop that.
Hey, sir. Yes. What
because back to the point. Obi will say, oh, I quite be penasem po wait by ejuma na ne crack there no dey buy. I don't know materialism on it. Because Ghana for to Obama the penasem the ginidie. And yes said the Oscar and I say they be obitima cho bibi ana bibi etisa. Yes, metima cho bibi. Ebi so ana mintimi nya ejuma no. Ebi nsusu a yes, ma cho wakoto amame. The wako jina ade na nim. Am say akwa we kra de enyo no ne epe no. Ebi a wo ne ehwe. Inti we must not let the ana mehwe amana akosie ne say maye ma eno and determine omo a ye be so omo ye can the former party no from all levels. Polling station, constituency. Esan say oye ne saa. E won sunso anso. Inti abna sabna. Abna. Minia. E won sunso anso. Minia na ote abeka na o wakwaji fridge out there ti so a o
de kono. Ono so nya bi ope.
Ana nipa ne ye. Tuntum. Ani bre ne ahoye a e o wiase me bo ana.
Okay.
Inti na me tu me party for. So yen for omo a odo ometima ye adwuma no omo proven track record. Omo the skill set to lead and win. Esa say nye MPP for nkwa na yesra omo vote. So
na okasa mo sympathizers.
Sympathizers no hwe.
They say kasa doso.
Oh, kasa de adoso ehuru ebejo.
Ebejo on. Di ehun ni say e normal.
Oh, enye normal. Esa say enye nepe ne ato aba ana say ye nhihye ya ye de beyi kandifo ana bibi. Ye yi bia ba ne amesre ne party nkabom.
But essence ye this a time media. Essence ye na ebisi ebutu.
Adene. Makasetia.
Wakasetia on.
Makasetia.
So you're not in support of that
at all.
Hey, but when say executives no so a time and so yeah, and as I say, muyi is it 24 months before election, and I'm a boy. And January 31 and so na 24 no and so a best so as some to abano honorable. Now what can say TNT then as some way.
Oh, here a boy.
No, that may be saying.
Now, until I may say, yen 2 year boss.
Na neck question na woni ho no mo bi.
Me neck member man council na me ni ho. Metro di nti Saturday no vetting charges. Ni nti ameka set ya ne say. Krobe na yesi ohene ansane ya pe kingmakers ana omo musi ahene no. The process leading to the election of the Flagbearer no. The enthusiasm, excitement, party reorganization, the base or the grassroots of the party. Maybe I mean you be already 16 years. Last election went to me and to be 2028. Obetimato. Opese, when we school, opese join the party no from be a polling station level. No, so be a polling station youth organizer now. Chairman na bibi it is woman organizer. Yes, set na no. One ambekwa kwi Flagbearer for 2028. Na nipa no na rich ideas or person or the ban or the buano. Or because na yi Flagbearer we are. I mean baby in but say you involve you in the process from the starter. You get a lot of these young people who are eligible to vote in the next election to participate. Yes, you the 2 back home. 2 no, when be so be fast or selected. Secretary and executive obo security election. Obey transparent. The 2 no.
There's one transparent. Obey in the be favor no.
Of course. Yes, coordinators you be increase it to 5. At what point in time? On be 2B. Constituency executive obi a listen in boot the name they so challenge secretary and chairman be and youth organizer be. Tin am say processor etimi aboa yen etimi produce 2 presidents yen tontwere enkoye try and error because unim ne be see with a new arrangement how they ba
na so mo twe emre no so ko enimu a eno so entia mo constitution
the constitution said 24 months yenya ndu abaye to ye 1 year ba so 1 year mai
na fe ye den na 31st January no na mo because now mo communicating na mo 31st no na eso
31st and so here I'm for proposal say enko yi Flagbearer by 31st of January and I'm say and I'm actually say factors we emwa
na di nti no mo propose that time
ene nyanko nyame nenim me
mentiasia na so bebre ekoso in favor of particular person one tie no so be
mentiasia nyentu
ti won ko pede ebe favor no kra hwe
dabi mentiasia nyentu esanse emwa kuo no
nti what voice na out so amoma
macho krata kra me copy wait my publish you
me me so have bebre na me
when age apo ho pa we sure say ko school down for apo
na me pack time mom na me pehu also kasa na say winning factor who can with factor
but I'm not you a process way there yi 2 presidents President Kufuor infant Flagbearers and 2 presidents from Professor Dubois, President Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia. That's the same system and structure. So, bibi ni ehu na also a shemu kina, ni a shemu kina. But yenka say, oh, ye si nchen, ni enko yi Flagbearer, and sa ne aba. And I'm going to say to kill activism and enthusiasm at the base.
Honorable Nyendu Sunisi said there are so many ways of killing a cat.
There be cat where they
killing a sound. Okay. But I have bon komo ya what can say now no is attention no air shift from the aban ye maybe a musu say enko yanka instead say party no be kan boom na mo address no. E kame say internally no near maybe enko yin attention no ho more. My yenhwe o say so we share na o cite example chema want to me ni akwakoche no last Sunday Krampona former managing director Gihawk Distilleries honorable Masioko
mafia
ya kwache no but say no menya ntie say ya grant no bill doesn't mean say saban no aba ni wo hu say ni bi ankoyie enti anase kita se share dwurim ne proye bi nti yesusu se wo ena na wo sa institution ho asa ne ma no e course so anase wo na wa yes act no enti ye chiw no ba me hwehwe mo aban no boni awaye ene de honorable.
Fantastic question. I love your brilliance. Also, your suspects, your accused person. Now, rules of fair trials under Article 19 of the Constitution. Let me just, I'll go there. You see, yema, mean quite accused person, crowd suspect. Accused person, crowd, see, man, adequate time and opportunity, including right to counsel and our lawyer.
Okay.
Adequate time, opportunities, and right to counsel of his choice. Now, when you're accused, we are accused, they are arraigned you before court, and you read your charge sheet, I'm more pleading, guilty or not guilty.
Okay.
Now, so Obi a suspect. Now say, boy, mama e boni bi, and I say, makoye minister, and I say CEO baby. Na say wabe hwe nkratem na onti nema bi ase na feel say bibia nkoso yi a friend me say yaw me hia o NIB headquarters o ba ono lawyer amra ye be discuss in some way ABCD ye hu during your tenure until wo and responses bi na bibia o ba boa ho 10 a.m. bra na yen discuss so my disrespecting state security and due process. And no, utimi be fame. Na say Rambo style, Yakov Chiwo fie, yayo basabasa. And no na me kaseti a meninji ho. So niano, so jitum no respect due process. Na say wo so one man who say wo respect due process. No one friend, one man time, venue. Oh, by no lawyer, my right to counsel, adequate time and opportunities, right to counsel. No one ba, we busa no. Say ni. Na no the same ni response ni. Na say ebo bra. And I say tiamra. Na say Attorney General, I prepare the charge sheet. No, the court. It's fair.
Okay.
No reasonable MPP person will speak against it. Near Tosu no kasa about bail conditions. We did a lot of Supreme Court decisions on bail. Even Pebu and Attorney General. But I think may so rest in peace. No near there. Justices no. I'm say bail no. And he say I'll say reasonable. Number two, my bail conditions are. And he said only I no feel say the bail no punishable. What you say? Into read the Criminal Procedure Act now, I think section 96(7) thereabout. The conditions of bail near there. Discretion given to the judge. But say one our investigative body no cry no. Oh my unreasonable bail terms and conditions or bail terms which are onerous, as the lawyers will say. That means we must look at it whether it's being used as a political tool or weapon.
Okay.
See you now can say 800 million, 500 million, only there. Chema won't be more 20 million. You understand? Into those conditions must also be read in conjunction with the Constitution, whether they are fair, reasonable, and adequate for a suspect or an accused person to meet.
Okay.
You know, because a bima that you could say 3, 4 days, 5 days. And you know, sir, constitutionally, you cannot hold somebody for more than 48 hours. Yes, sir, not at the bitterness about society.
Okay.
And the yao near Nibre, and no revenge near dear. We'll back, no abeye, when Suba, no abeye.
So, because I know one semono, my breast say, Bibisa, course, so I need a name almost 8 years. So, moving forward, to say the work and say, Ashe, and politicians, Moshe.
And I'm now wow, you're politician.
Oh, they're politician. Honorable, yeah, baby, we are, sir. Na, Mammy, and Bissas beyond a year parliament. Wo she say will hold the position be Ghana Hana.
Oh, politician be anywhere because say Bob Brakonechi.
Okay.
Say edu baby na me gidi say meet me I hold any other position in the party or in government or where. Ni nyina ya me modembo ani si bia mebo me brafa. I'm for to be some here means a question we no say they overstand the presidential primary time will tell.
Okay, and many drew
and me not here. Me a member of the disciplinary committee of my party. I'm against Niama Bia. I'm for a static campaign gidi I am fixing Niama.
Oh, to book a mobile motor Mozafra Brony.
Yeah, the referral breme. You bet say afena general secretary dia brain into your tones are friend you be who I don't want to prejudice
na moka say mushia I think say Electoral 2nd July and 3rd and I'm say mushia you know Flagbearer aspirants in nyina together with abronye
what they do how I'm so
bakela so ma o
nyame be chere
bakela ma ma ye de
nyame be chere
ebi so fe chere so papa cho so abotra
o pese e fra sem na e ka se o makoka ho asem o YouTube to be ka ho he
o de be yes sir ono mi jam wa koi enei se ye bum ponko hwe ye chia legacy ben ena woja e de ato e wo musa wo da so ho de maybe nyame adma 2028 wo be course enu also na say you know presidential ambition no now why you ready say over God legacy baby e ni ehwa ye de be ye mfankai honorable Patrick Boama
you me that say me modembo me suban mabutra menya ne me manfo na atena ho invaluable won't be first interest can't. Number 2 and infrastructure nema bebre na high no e Monday bo and in so to say yabubo communities now on time to
central
and on chese ye wie dwumadie no where man storm drain bi o ase ho a me pese ye betima complete na dey abo N1 gata kese no where my electoral area many dey trade in
okay
asumdue e wo me constituency essence omu se menye ni papa pasa obu a me de man panifo asofo national chief imam Mr. America ultimate constituency or me constituent Ajumoro ultimate constituency asofo Reverend from Paul Manson Kakari asofo Kakari asofo Adolfo Peace Chapel Bishop Roman mpanifo bebre businessmen Mr. Samuku Jeto ono training me as lawyer Council of State Otiho Mr. Champonche Kofi Bachman Back Press Jude Buckner omu nyina atete ho enti meye bibia I look back and says hey you are representing these very important people abeka market for me ma me no mpanifo don't do anything to tarnish your image I be affected constituency for no.
Okay.
Don't take things for granted. Always say with integrity must lead you. Any person kuminya ska ne ahunya emfa nko ba bia.
Awo ka se tiempo se ehu hia no.
Ba unya kakra obi.
Oh no, you better no that sorry.
Your Methodist.
Oh,
Calvary
okay.
Methodist.
We boko.
So
sana me.
Christ in tea. Yama o sorry.
Me call prayer palace.
Anyway, but
it was Spinters.
No jatons.
Enya sem ketwa. You know you better say na
paper now. Many aji mechia Adekye Nsroma Central MPP4. They me send Abodwo Unity. Unity. Nukrewum.
Okay.
Enye ni so no so. Yemfa transparency, fairness enye bibia. Their party no area be kwa kohye ni mu ye nyina ye be tie na chi. Na ye de akoko 2028.
Na we think am say me trust oba kan say the party no any di eche no. Unkofo ni bi ma shebe dwomfo bi I endorse Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Uko bi ana.
Debbie.
Okay. You want support him?
Menkasa.
I was for Honorable Patrick Yabuama, MP Emma Okankwe Central, and I na atwetwe nkomo Honorable Yeda CBU.
And have a blessed day, blessed month ahead of you. Thank and your you. Team, and your wonderful team here. Good morning.
Good morning, Yeda super. Nti yaba be di Ghana nkomo Ghana ye yo ne Ghana mpuntu enti Yeda ye ho na ya home so ye bapem ni medjafo betena se na ne ensema hodo akoso ewo de obokrata no so ya pense mko be be basisia